Hello everybody, what is up? My name is Olivia and welcome to my very first YouTube video on my very first YouTube channel that I'm going to be posting on. I'm super excited. Shout out to the script because I have a lot to say and I want to stay on track. If you can tell through the title of this video, it's going to be about the organization of the Jehovah's Witnesses. So as you can see from the title, this is going to be my story about how I left. And really, full disclosure, before I go into any of this video and future videos, I want you to know I am not here to convince you to leave. That is something that everyone needs to decide on their own. This is simply just to help be a support for people, whether they're PMO, physically in, mentally out, or they have left and they need someone to help with this journey. So I definitely want to put that out there, that I'm not here to persuade you otherwise. I'm simply just going to go through my story and how I left and what helped me kind of take my blinders off and see the truth about the truth. I never call it the truth anymore. So when I say the truth, it's the truth. So you're probably gonna see a lot of gestures, but I'm Greek. Can you blame me? I don't know. So first of all, I want you to feel validated for watching this video. You are a special person who has been put through the ringer, most likely mentally, where you feel guilty for feeling certain thoughts. You may have felt super guilty even clicking on this video, but I want you to feel validated, because sometimes the fear of leaving causes people to not leave. And although I respect that decision 100%, it's so important to know that you have options and that you have a support system out here as well. There's so many videos like mine of people who just want to spread that love, and there still is a brother and sisterhood out here. I've met so many people just from social media alone who understand and who want to create that home and that, tranquility mentally, again, because it does take a toll, off of you. So, just know in your journey, you have a destination. You're not lost. And even though it may feel like you're lost, you have a home, and that's going to be found, all over, and it does get easier. So to get to know me a little bit, again, I don't know if I said my name at the beginning, but my name's Olivia, and I'm 24 years old. I grew up about 45 minutes outside of Cincinnati. Ohio is a very conservative area, so that comes with conservative kingdom halls, of course. I grew up being the elder's daughter, and my mom was not a regular pioneer. However, that was just because of health issues, not because she wasn't spiritual enough. There goes the quotations again. But not because she wasn't spiritual enough, but because of health issues. But especially after her brother passed away, she really strived to do her best in the congregation. So, she did what she could. She reached out when she could. So regardless, our family was very exemplary. We gave parts on the circuit assembly together, interviews, demonstrations. I was a regular pioneer and I was doing foreign language. So we were like the family kind of thing. And I was baptized very young. I was 12 when I got baptized as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. To be completely fair, and if I'm going to be completely honest in these videos, which I'm going to be, I was not baptized for the right reasons. And I say that because, yes, I loved the organization at the time, but my best friend had just passed away, and I was 12. We had known each other our whole lives. She was 10. Very freak accident. And if you know anything about Jehovah's Witnesses religion, if you are watching this as an outsider, so being baptized, although not pertinent to your salvation, it gives you that head start, basically. I need to stop doing this, but so much of it is so like whatever. So just ignore it. I'm not gonna call attention to it anymore. But so much of it is, just literalized in the congregation. So that's why I do it that way. Anyway, although baptism is not pertinent to your salvation, it gives you this head start. So I knew I was grieving, and I knew that I needed to see my best friend right now, and I knew that baptism would help me get there. It would help me get to the paradise earth, where they believe that all the ones that have passed away will be resurrected again, and I'll have a shot at being saved from Armageddon to see her. So basically I lost her in October of 2007 on the 28th. By November 24th, little under a month, I got baptized. And you know, do I regret getting baptized? You know, I knew I was going to get baptized because I did have goals at that time. I regret the timing, I regret the age, I regret the mindset that I was in when I got baptized. You know, and of course I don't believe in baptizing kids, honestly, and for me, because you're not old enough to understand what you're doing. And at 12 years old, I was concerned about High School Musical, and you know, and when I was going to be able to play outside next. So I wasn't, and my best friend just died. I was not in the mental state to get baptized. So you know, that's kind of that situation there. So my kickstart to being a baptized witness of Jehovah was already tainted in a way, but I didn't realize it, of course, at that time. Now, if we fast forward to, let's say, you know, I'm 18 years old, I was regular pioneering. I had put in an application to start a Russian language class that the local congregation was putting on because they're starting a Russian group. And so I wanted to reach out and I wanted to do a foreign language, and I thought, you know what, I don't know anything about Russian. I had done sign language, I loved sign language, but I wanted to do a verbal language. So I thought, you know what, why not? Like, let's just try Russian, whatever. If I don't like it, I don't like it. It's, you know, no harm, no foul. So I started doing the Russian congregation, started regular pioneering. Definitely a really busy time in my life, because at that point I was having a lot of doubts, but I wasn't allowing myself to explore them. I honestly felt it was because I started a new language and I was so focused on learning that my spirituality wasn't being kept up, because I wasn't studying in English as much. So I really thought, okay, I need to take a step back from Russian, really focus on studying again in English, re-solidify it in my heart, basically. And thinking back, like, it's just so twisted, but I thought that, you know, could possibly be why. And association, all of that, you know, was something. So, you know, I do have an older brother. He's 14 years older than me. He, and I never had a relationship because he also left the religion, when I was younger. And so he was disfellowshipped for a while, got reinstated, but when he got reinstated, he didn't really start coming to meetings. So my dad still didn't allow us to have a good relationship. It was definitely caged. So we didn't have a normal brother-sister text call because he was out of state. You know, we didn't have the type of a relationship. So as I got older and I did live on my own, I craved that. You know, I wanted to get to know my brother, and so we would text and everything. He never would mention the religion, which I really respect. You know, and he just wanted to have a relationship with his baby sister, and I think that's awesome. So at this time, I really started to have Pimo feelings, like serious ones, because the new songbook was just released. And when I tell you that the lyrics in this book creeped me out, they did. I mean, I don't know how else to explain that. They literally scared me, because the lyrics to the music was so narcissistic, and it was just creepy. I don't know how else to explain it. It just was. And so I just started feeling off about the religion. Till this day, I don't know exactly what caused it, but it just didn't sit right with me. It just didn't feel right. And I, you know, decided, you know what, me and my best friend, we were gonna move in together. So we got a little apartment, and this is in 2017. And 2017, I found out that my dad's best friend was unfortunately molesting children. And it was something that I'd done in the past. I don't know if it is happening currently. Hope to God that it was not happening currently. But he had abused one of a family friend of ours. And when I found this out, you know, I couldn't believe it. I mean, we hung out with him as a family almost every weekend. He came over for cards and wine, you know, and I remember being a little girl, you know, 9 or 10 years old, and asking my dad why he wasn't an elder, because we were that family that was kind of like stuck up. And you know, I was like, why isn't he an elder? You know, is he not spiritual enough, kind of thing? And my dad said, no, honey, like, it's not because he's not spiritual enough. They travel a lot, which they did travel. But the reason why he wasn't an elder was because they traveled. It was because my dad knew about him being, you know, a child abuser, and they covered it up. And so although, you know, he wasn't allowed to have privileges in the congregation anymore, he still molested children, and so they couldn't have him be an elder. So he'll never be an elder. But it was never given to the police, never announced in the Kingdom Hall, nothing like that. And those policies are the ones that just strangle the truth and the validity out of that religion so hard. Because, you know, my best friend that passed away, she has multiple siblings, and every single one of those siblings, they live on the same street as my dad's best friend. They are there all of the time. And I know 100% that if their mother knew what he had done, they would not have that happen. They already had a child that passed away. Why would they put their children in the line of fire of someone who has a past of that? You know, they would never do that. And so I don't care what they say, you know, they don't know about it. They don't. And so their policies are just so twisted. And I remember I found out too about the 2017 was the Royal Commission Australia. They were sued for over $30 million, you know, for damages, punitive damages of these people, these victims who were covered up by the Watchtower and Tract Society, that they were sexually abused because they don't believe in going to the authorities. And, you know, all of this came to light within a matter of like 4 months for me. So my mind was just completely blown, and I didn't know where to go. And, you know, I approached my parents about it, and, you know, my dad looked at me from across the table and he goes, you know, Olivia, it's not that big of a deal. And my whole world just shattered, because I thought, you know, my own parents don't think that this is a big deal. You know, my mom said, Olivia, if you found out that your favorite restaurant served a meal that you didn't like, would you stop going to that restaurant altogether? You know, no. But if I found out that the cook in the back was abusing children, I would stop going. I don't care how good the food is. Like, you know, it's common sense. And that's when I realized my parents are completely brainwashed and I've lost them. And as my blinders were coming off, their walls were coming up. And it was just this whole thing. And, you know, if you get the reference, my mom was the Lorelai to my Rory. We were best friends. And so to see them and watch them just completely drop me, even though I never was disfellowshipped. I'm still not disfellowshipped. I'm just inactive and very verbal about how I feel about it. And, you know, they still, I haven't seen them since January of 2018. And here we are going into 2020 next week. So it's been about a year and that I haven't seen them. And it's just really sad, you know, to me. And, you know, at this time I'm realizing, okay, so if this is happening, my money that I'm giving to the contribution box, my $10 a week, is probably going to help pay off this lawsuit in Australia. So I'm not giving them any more money. And I remember saying, I was literally going through this in my head, sitting there at the Kingdom Hall during a midweek meeting and thinking this. And I stood up remember, I'm in a Russian congregation too, so there's like 20 publishers in this huge auditorium. So I stand up, grab my books, grab my purse, go to the back, grab my blanket that I had hanging in the coat room, and I left. And I never walked back into a Kingdom Hall. And that was by far probably one of the most validating experiences that I could have had in this process, where it was just like, you know what? I don't care anymore. And this is wrong, and I'm going to stand up for what I believe in, and I don't care what people think at this point. And that was a really good idea. You know, that was a really good idea. That was a really good moment for me and just mental space to be in, because even talking about it right now, like, I'm getting anxiety. But you know, it's just these red flags, they were hitting me in the face at this point. They weren't just popping up. It was just undeniable for me, the disgusting things that were going on and being hidden in this organization, in my own congregation growing up. So I just knew that, you know, I was done. So, you know, let's kind of go to the point where here I am a year later after this has happened. And this is the point of this video and this channel, really, is just the fact that I cannot stress to you the amount of peace that I have in my heart and my mind, because I'm no longer under a microscope. You know, for you elders, daughters, wives, sons, you know, whatever it may be, you know, I know you don't want to disappoint them. You don't want to disappoint your family, whether they're elders and pioneers or not. You don't want to disappoint the elderly brother and sister that took you in, you know, and helped you. And you don't want to disappoint your friends. And I know. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's easy. It was the easiest, hardest decision of my life. You know, easiest because I knew it was right and wrong, but hardest because I knew the consequences of what came of coming to the realization of it. So, you know, I want you to know that you are not alone. As cheesy as it sounds, you have a huge support group out here. It's gonna suck a lot, but it's almost like a breakup or a loss. I mean, honestly, my brother has a really good saying, and he says he had a funeral for his past relationships. I need to do that. But just, you know, once you start to segregate yourself, you begin to heal. And yeah, there's going to be scars and you're going to be hurt. But I can walk down the street and know that whoever I see run into, I just have purple hair and I wasn't ashamed of it. You know, I wasn't ashamed of walking around with my purple hair and my outfits. I don't care. And it's like that comes with a mental freeness of just awakening, and you can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it too. And you're gonna experience loss, and you're gonna experience guilt. You're gonna experience a lot of emotions, but you have help out here. And that's what I want my channel to be about. I want, you know, you'll see below I have an email in there, and you know, I want you guys to talk to me because I need it too. I mean, you know, I've only been really out for 2 years, and only one of those years has been completely religion free. And I want to help, and I really feel like we can make a difference together, and you're just as strong as the next person, and you can do it. And I just want everyone to know that now you have freedom, and it's very validating, and it's awesome, honestly. I can't stress enough how amazing it feels to not care. Yes, you still have love for those people you lose in the process, but you know, you do feel bad for them, because here, if any of my old friends are watching, they're saying, oh my God, Olivia, you know, she's so misled. But I'm over here thinking like, oh my God, you guys are so misled. And it pains my heart, because they are brainwashed. And when you start to have that come off, don't fight it, you know, do what you have to do. If you have to live a double life, okay, but just know that it gets better. And if you can leave, just leave and deal with those emotions as they come, and it will get better. But you're in no way alone. That's just my little story. I know it was, you know, 20 minutes, but you know, I want to be an asset to people out here. So I'll be posting videos like this. I want my next video to be along the lines of a day in the life as a witness, and kind of disproving a lot of their routine and their beliefs, basically. But you know, as I go on, if this channel does get a lot of activity, I want to reach out to you guys and see what you guys want to see, and ask questions, have a question and answer. I think that'd be really fun. And I just want to bring people together and help them find that community again. The internet is amazing now because I've met so many people who I can talk to about this, and it helps so much. So I just wanted to be a small point, you know, small piece of that picture. And you know, I definitely just want to be able to help people. So comment, subscribe, send me an email, let's talk. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.